What is up, everybody? This is Jason with Reptile Parties and For Only Animal Planet Scaled. Once again, back here on YouTube, and we're doing something kind of cool for this week. We're going to revisit Scaled. So, a lot of times we see reality shows or build shows or stuff, and we see the reveal, and and that's it. So I'm really excited because we're going to talk about one of my favorite builds, one of my favorite episodes, one of my favorite families from the show. We are going to talk about the Jurassic Parkins build. So the blue tongue skink, which was episode 8, that we built a Jurassic Park themed enclosure for their blue tongue skink and their Baja blue lizard. So let's welcome Annika and Elliot. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You guys are doing okay with all the quarantine?
Yeah, we're doing okay.
And I see the cages lit up. The fire is burning behind you, which is awesome. Yep. So to start with, how did you? Episode 8 was yours. How did you guys feel? Seeing the episode actually air. It aired in November, so probably about 4 or 5 months after we filmed it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I thought it was really cool watching myself.
I thought it was cool watching myself, but I also felt dumb at parts where I said unnecessary things and just wishing I could go back and redo them.
Yeah, we all have those moments. I still kind of regret a long day of filming and accidentally saying that snakes stretch their jaw, or snakes dislocate their jaws instead of stretch. And it was just a slip up, and that's the cut that made it. And the segment on YouTube of us going to visit the shop includes the legless lizard talk. And so all these comments are like, they don't dislocate their jaw. And I'm just like, oh, why? Now, did you have any friends or anybody that saw the episode that were like, hey, that's cool? Like, you had been excited to tell people.
I had been excited to tell people, but we didn't really show anyone. People at school saw, though.
Yeah, my teacher saw.
Yeah.
My teacher saw, and he's like, oh, yeah, I learned that some animals fake bright colors. So it's kind of weird hearing your teacher that they learned something from you.
Aw. That's really sweet. Now, what was your favorite part of the whole process? Because we filmed the meet the family. We filmed the segment that got reptiles, where you look at a bunch of different animals, and then the reveal.
Probably where we were looking at the reptiles.
I thought my favorite process was when we were here and just filming, because it was so cool seeing how the whole process was being filmed and seeing how much people it took to actually film just one episode of it.
Yeah, it's definitely eye-opening to be a part of the process. And now, like when I see other shows being filmed or people commenting on stuff, I have sort of a different perspective on like what can be involved, or even things like budget, like reality shows where it's like, oh yay, all the people are from Toronto, but it's being filmed in Toronto. Like for a first season, that makes sense, because for us, we had all these like applications for builds from like throughout North America, and in the end it was one in Portland and the rest were all like Alberta, so Edmonton, Calgary, Lethbridge, because it was just not within the budget to be like, we're going to California and fly 10 crew members and 4 staff down and all the equipment and everything. Now, speaking of that scene at Got Reptiles, so that is one of the things that the YouTube video that Animal Planet posted got like the most feedback on, was like that it was promoting irresponsible pet ownership, that monitor lizards aren't a good pet for a family. And realistically, if you do your homework, anything can be a good pet. And, so it's hard because it's sort of a capsule in time. And part of the point of the show was to have as many animals as possible seen on the show. So it wasn't that we were actually going to sell you a big iguana. It was just to show some different variety. and follow that up. Your dad said, like, I don't think that's the right fit for us. But Elliot, you've been interested in a tree monitor for years.
Yes. But for Annika's first reptile, I don't think we could have got it because it would have overwhelmed her, and I think I would have been doing half the work, and it was something to make Annika learn about responsibility. So I'm happy she chose Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And you had chosen Blue before we filmed that segment. So what made you decide on him, her?
I'm
pretty sure it's a him.
Okay. So what made you decide on him?
Well, I really liked the colors because I didn't really want like another bearded dragon or something like that. I wanted something more exotic.
We also saw it at J&J's.
Yeah, we also saw lots of Baja Blue Rock Lizards at J&J's.
I mean, that's definitely one of the more unique animals that we had on the show, which is pretty cool that, you know, you picked one that, you know, when everyone else is like, yeah, crested geckos, and you're like, Baja Blue, I choose that. Now, how are Blue and Stinky doing? Let's take a look at their enclosures.
Okay, you can switch the camera. So we have already replaced this substrate once, just to give them more variety. But Stinky, being the Stinky that he is, he mixed it all over the place, whereas Blue has kept it kind of clean.
So not a lot of changes. You added a couple extra hides for Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever give Stinky superworms from the toilet?
I did once, but that turned out to be a failed attempt. As you see, the toilet kind of broke.
Oh no! What did he do to it?
He ran into it. I don't know. He's not very considerate of his environment that he is in.
Although tell him how he likes to.
Oh, but he does like to bask on top of the Jeep on his hide.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite parts. Just all the little details we put into that enclosure that were related to Jurassic Park.
And tell where Blue likes to sit.
Oh yeah, Blue's favorite spot is either on the rock or up on the tower.
He's up on the tower, so he does utilize the raptor enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
You can see Blue right in there.
Oh yeah, you can also see Blue maybe.
Yeah, so you have to aim right back there. Can you see right in there?
Oh yeah, there he is. I can see sort of his shape, his shadow.
Yeah. And what else did you guys do for enrichment?
Oh yeah, sometimes we switch them from their enclosures.
Not for a long time, because it seems Stinky does not actually enjoy Blue's cage as much as Blue enjoys hers.
So you just give them that for some enrichment and to switch things up a bit for a little while?
Yeah.
Now, how is Blue for handling?
Well, the first time when you ever took her out, I'm sad they didn't catch it on camera because it was great how the sand flew everywhere. But now she's a lot easier to catch.
She's still very fast and hard to darts around the cage more than twice before I can catch her. But she's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
We've been taking her out 3 times every week, not to overstimulate her by doing it every day.
And so she how is she when she's out? Like, does she sit pretty well, or do you have to keep a pretty firm grip on her?
We always keep a firm grip, but when she's in our hands, she sits fairly nicely.
Yeah, although sometimes she's like, okay, I want to go back now, and then she
But
fights.
sometimes, she fights and gets you get some good scratches on your hands.
So it's been almost 2 years since you got her, since we set this up. You guys are happy with it still? The enclosures still look great. The animals are happy and healthy, so that's awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Great to see the cage. Great to see you guys. So just a reminder to everybody on YouTube to make sure you hit that button and subscribe. Make sure that you check out our Patreon for exclusive content. And keep staying tuned, guys. We're probably going to do more of these and revisiting some more scaled. We got lots more animals to show you, lots of cool content coming up. So stay tuned, and we will see you next time.